ARC Junkies presents Weld Wednesday with AWS. Brought to you by the American Welding Society. And now your host, Jason Becker.
Jeremy, what's been going on, man? You were on the show probably about a year ago, but I've seen you made some significant growth with your company.
Yes, sir, I have. It's been a roller coaster. It's been up and down. I'm still a one-man band, but it's still a lot. And I'm to the point where I need to start putting on more and more people. And I've had actually a little bit of trouble trying to find people that want to work.
I've heard, I got a buddy down there in Sanford, Florida at McCarthy Fab, and he's saying the same thing. And then Kevin Johnson with the Welding Business Owners podcast, he's having a hard time finding people. And they're paying, they're not paying like junk rate, you know.
No.
I mean, they're paying like a valuable rate. They need to hire somebody experienced, and they still can't do it.
Yeah, I need somebody that if I need to leave the shop or whatever, that I can leave there knowing that they're going to work and not be on their phone, or that they're capable of producing and not messing up by the time I get back. And trying to find somebody I can't believe it's this difficult.
Yeah, and in the industry that you're in, it's not like you can automate and solve your problem. I mean, there's a lot of companies out here that are like, oh, we can't find enough welders, we can't find enough grinders, and this, that, and the other thing. They can automate, but whereas you're doing like custom fabrication,
yes,
you're doing on-site repairs. That's the industry that everybody needs to start moving into if you want to avoid automation and robotics, because I don't think automation's coming for those jobs. Well, I mean, automation in general is not coming for anybody's jobs. It's making people's lives easier.
Right.
But you can supplement your workforce with automation.
Right.
You can.
No, not right now. I mean, if it got to the point where I was able to get, some manufacturing contracts or things like that where I was producing parts over and over, then yes. But right now, it's all one-off stuff, a lot of repairs, a lot of going into, plants and things like that, doing repairs on piping and things like that. So right now, a robot is not
going to help.
It's not going to help. I need a skilled person that can read a tape measure, that knows how to adjust a welding machine, and is going to show up on time. And because the client, they have a problem, and they want it resolved, and they don't care what your problem is. They're paying you to resolve it.
Yeah, they're not hiring you to take, to work with your problems. They're hiring you because they have a problem. They need to get it handled.
They need something fixed, and they need it done yesterday, and you need to be here to do it.
Yeah. And
if you can't find somebody, that's your problem, and they don't want to hear it. And I totally get it, but I don't know. It's just, but a lot of the clients that I have right now, they understand. Hey, we can't find people. So if we're some multi-billion dollar company and we're having trouble finding workforce, we know you got to be having trouble.
And that's the one thing, and I know it's a long, arduous process, but I've had this conversation with employers, and they've kind of come around and tested this out. But if you go to like your local VOTEC school and you talk to the instructor and say, hey man, I need your number one student. And if you can get in touch with that kid, I mean, that's the one that's going to show up every day. They're begging to do more welding. They're begging to do projects. They want to do this stuff. They're researching it when they go home. They're welding out in their garage. You find that kid, you bring him in for, it's gonna, like I said, it's a long process, maybe 1 year. Give him some hands-on training, supervise him, watch over him, shadow him for a while. But then that's going to be like your best freaking employee.
Yeah. Well, I actually had a kid, and I'm calling him a kid. I'm 41, and I'm old enough to be his dad, so I guess I can call him a kid.
Yeah.
He was riding by the shop one day and called, and he's like, he's, I think, a sophomore, junior in high school, and he's like, hey, I'm in vocational school, I'm welding, I want to get more hands-on, more life experience, and can you help me? I'll come to work with you. So I done like a internship, and he comes to the shop. He's a great help. And he takes direction well. I mean, I can't leave him by himself, but he's soaking up, the knowledge that I'm trying to throw out there. This is how you read a tape. This is how I want you to cut this or do that. And he's thirsty for, to better himself. And I was like, yeah, if you want to come on, man, because I can't give a job away.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to learn and then that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I had Emmett Russell on a while back, and he had the same thing. He's got this young kid that, goes in there and helps him, whether it's his signage or, handrails or, the custom work that he's doing for different high-end clients and stuff like that. And it seems to be like the best route to go. I mean, it's not like I said, it's not a quick solution, but it's a solution, and you're going to get a damn good employee. And then you bring him on, and, you pay him decent, and you treat him well enough to stay.
Yes.
That's the hard part, is train him well enough to leave, treat him well enough to stay.
Yeah, and that's been, what I've heard through the whole industry is, the employer doesn't care about me. Why should I come in here and give them 100% when they don't care about me? And that's, when I started this, I said, if I, when I do start putting on people, I can't treat somebody like that. I mean, yeah, I might have to, there might be some disciplinary action or something like that, but I'm not going to sit there and just treat you, like a number. Yeah. And I kind of don't want Southern Weld Company to get so big to where I would lose that, because I feel like, a lot of these big companies, they just, everything gets in and, everybody gets kind of lost in the crowd, and I don't want that to be the case with Southern Weld. I want good quality people, great quality people, and, just trudge along and do our thing, and, everybody work together to where you can't even tell who's in charge.
Yeah. How big are you looking at growing your company?
I would love, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 people, as far as
think
hands.
There's enough work in your area to kind of sustain that growth?
I believe so. I'm in the upstate of South Carolina, so I'm between Charlotte and here in Atlanta, so there's plenty between, where I'm at. I'm blessed with a lot of manufacturing and a lot of plants and chemicals and things like that. So I believe there is a lot of work for it, and plus I have, power plants and things like that. But that is way beyond my league right now. But we're getting there. I'm slowly starting the process to try to get an R stamp for the shop. So that's going to be a lengthy endeavor.
That's a hell of a process there to take on. You thought your CWI was hard.
Yeah. Well, I got some good help, but yeah, and it's going to be way more expensive than the CWI.
Yeah. What all is involved in that process from what you've learned so far?
Obtaining an AI, a good AI.
So what's an AI?
An AI is an authorized inspector.
Okay.
They work for an insurance agency. If you do a lot of outages or a lot of work with boilers and pressure vessels and things like any kind of stamp code work, in most states you have to have an AI come by and do an audit on, your processes and your paperwork, and they'll even come out to the job and, okay, this is how we tested our welders, this is how we've came up with what we came up, this is the agreement between us and the client, and this, that, and the other. So it's getting that secured, and then paperwork, quality manuals, things like that, a lot of code books and stuff you got to have on hand, a lot of requirements that they set forth, but it's not impossible. It's just a
process.
It's a process.
Trial and error.
Yeah, it's a trial and error process, and I think they told me it will probably take 8 months to a year, which is fine, because I think it's probably around $30,000. I think $3,000. Sorry, I'm deprived. It's been a long week.
What's that?
Yeah. This has been great, but I am exhausted. But I think it's around $30,000.
Okay.
From what I've been told.
Damn. Yeah, that is a hell of a chunk of change.
That's a nice little chunk of change. I don't have that quite tucked in my sock just yet, so I'm going to have to, but it's one of the goals that I have for the company to, and you and I were talking last time about an ATF. That's something else that I'm wanting to do. I don't know if I want to do it in my current shop or if I want to wait. I'm not sure, but I have a list of everything that I want to do. Whether or not it gets there or not.
It probably wouldn't be bad to start it in your shop, because then, you can, like, on slow days and stuff like that, you've got the equipment. I just seen, you got some new Lincoln stuff in there.
Yes.
And, you could set your ATF right up in there. It doesn't take up a large footprint because you're not testing 15, 20 people at a time. You bring them in onesie twosies, and, you set it up, and it's, paperwork's about an hour, and then the test, depending on what the test is, it can be anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour and a half or so. And then, it's not long to, you got to do a visual inspection on it. And then you got to do your all your destructive testing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you could set that up in a very small square footprint. I'm talking, 100 square foot or, yeah, probably about 100 square foot.
Yeah, and it's just, again, I've been out on an outage for the past 4 weeks, so I've been away from the shop.
Yeah, we were chatting before FabTech, and you've been slammed, man.
Yeah, I'm not the smallest guy, so crawling in and out of a bowler door has been a little difficult. So
yeah, you were showing me pictures of that, and I was like, I'm not getting my big ass in there.
No.
That ain't gonna fit.
Well, I mean, somehow I managed to get in there, but when I'd get in there, I'd had to hang out because I didn't want to get in and out.
Yeah.
But it was different. It was a water wall. We were taking some panels out of the water wall in the power plant. I was the QC guy out there in the field, but wasn't too bad. But back on the ATF, I mean, plus getting through FabTech and getting through the holidays and things like that, trying to get the rest of the year done, and then concentrating on hitting January 1 full steam ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in the works. I got everything on paper. Right now, I'm kind of too tired to do anything. I mean,
that's the best way to do it, though, is you gotta, like, I'm big on putting things down. Like, I gotta write it down either, like I've got like a calendar at the house,
mm-hmm.
like a big calendar. I went and bought like a 2-foot by 3-foot calendar, and that's what I'll, that way I can visually see it all the time. But then I also have it like locked in on my phone. So if I'm not there at the house, I can check my calendar, see everything that I have going on, and then you can start planning for the days ahead.
Yes. I mean, if I don't write it down and I don't have a schedule, then I'm going to be lost.
It's always in there, but when that thought's going to reappear in your head, that's a different story.
Yeah, and my mind doesn't shut off, so whenever it shuffles back through, there's no telling when it's going to shuffle back through.
2:00 in the morning.
Yeah. When I'm laying there trying to sleep, and
oh shit,
yeah, I forgot to do that. Well, that was 8 hours ago.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Yeah, but yeah, I try to write everything down, and just go off that, and I try to be as organized as I can, because if you can't run a business on a whim and be successful, and the way the economy is right now, you got to be ahead of everything if you want to survive.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it is 100% survival. I just thought I was going to get a welding machine, I was going to get a LLC, and the floodgates would come open. No, they did not. No, that was not the case.
Right.
So it's been a lot of hustle, a lot of planning, a lot of reaching out to people, cold calling, all kinds of marketing stuff, whatever I can do to grab your attention as a client to say, hey, I'm worth giving a chance to.
But now all that hard work and effort's paying off, right?
Yes, it is paying. It's slowly paying off.
It's slow up front, but then all of a sudden the floodgates will open. But it's not like, here's your LLC and your tax certificate and your full licensed business. It's not like your phone's going to start blowing up.
And here's 100 clients just waiting
for you.
Yeah, no. I opened up the door and tumbleweeds went by, which is weird because I'm in upstate South Carolina. We don't have tumbleweeds. But yeah, it's just – but I don't regret it. And everybody said I started the business at the wrong time, which I said, well, tell me when is a good time.
I don't think there's a bad time to start a business.
No.
I know a lot of people that, fired up a business during the middle of the recession we had back in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And they got more work than they can shake a stick at. And they were busy. I mean, hell, they were, working more than anybody else during that time, because welding and what we do, it keeps things up and moving.
Yeah.
So even the companies that are like cutting back, they still got to stay open.
Yeah.
So things have to keep moving. Same thing when during COVID. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know a lot of like fabrication companies that flourished during COVID. Well, when everybody else was sitting at home working on, via Zoom, everybody else, in our trade was like, they were flourishing. Their businesses were skyrocketing.
Well, that's when I started. I was on a project till April 1st or 2nd. And when I left there, I'd already had it in my mind that I was going to start as soon as the project was over. And as soon as I came home, I went to work, getting what I needed, doing all the paperwork, because I was out on the road. It was difficult for me to take a phone call or to call somebody to sit there and chat with them for 30 minutes because I'm on somebody else's clock. So I can't sit there and just talk whenever.
Yeah, run your business while you're doing the work.
Yeah, so I had to once that project was over, I was home and I was running all over the county, going to this tax office, going to this lawyer's office, going to, this accountant, just a lot of, and it was a lot more running around than I thought to be legit, because I didn't want to just start it up as nothing wrong with this, a backyard type business. I wanted to do it right from the start. And so it was, it was a little bit more costly, with the fees and things like that. But, I'm in this established business.
Yeah. Because
the clients want to see that you're an actual business and not just Jim Bob with a welding machine.
Not Jeremy's Welding Service.
No. It has to be, because if you're going to walk on their property, they're going to want to see documentation. Where's your insurance?
Yeah, I need to start articles of organization. I need to see your insurance. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, I need to see all that. So because
they need it for their records.
Yeah, they're trying to protect themselves because their plant or whatever they have going on is their livelihood, and they're not just going to let anybody walk in there.
Yeah. Have you started using QuickBooks?
No, I have an accountant.
Okay. So, I have an accountant, but I also use QuickBooks. So I can do all my invoicing, accounts receivables, accounts payable. I can run all that stuff through QuickBooks, but then I can give my accountant access. So even every time, so instead of saving receipts and all that happy horse crap, I can link my card to QuickBooks, swipe the card, that transaction's automatically recorded, and then I just say, okay, this was an expense for travel, this was tools, this was, maintenance, this was equipment, whatever the case may be. But you can itemize a lot of that stuff, and then the accountant can go in there with accountant access and only see, what they need for tax purposes. And it's like $9 a month. It's been a freaking lifesaver because I used to do, it was always a pain. It's like my accountant would take care of my invoicing and all that stuff, but the problem was I'd have to call them and say, hey, I need you to submit an invoice to company XYZ for this dollar amount, for this. I still had to give them the information anyway. So whether it's I'm putting it in an email or, writing up the invoice myself, it's still almost the same amount of time. Yeah. But with QuickBooks, it's like, boom, I got to do it once. It's done. It sends out constant reminders. It's been great. My buddy Scott Wachowski was like, dude, you need to get on and start using this. Because like I said, I used to do everything Microsoft Microsoft Excel. Yeah. And it was like, it worked, and it limped me by, for years. But I don't know. It seems to be a lot easier using software.
Well, you started with something.
Yeah, I started with something.
And that's what I've had a lot of people ask me. Said, how did you get started? I just started. I got a machine and I went through the process. And you just got to put forth that step and start. You might not have everything you want, like you say. You started out with Excel, free Excel. Yeah. And then now you're paying $9. That $9 adds up.
Oh, yeah.
So, but you've upgraded to where, okay, now I'm a little bit better than I was on my record keeping now. The same thing with equipment and tools and things like that, and in clients, too.
Yeah, you got to start off with what you can afford and kind of work your way up to what you
absolutely. Need. Yeah, because, I don't have investors. I don't have partners. It is 100% me. So, I don't have anybody else to lean on. And it's kind of the way I want it. Because if it fails, it's my fault. Right. And I can't blame nobody else.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, you got to start bringing other people in so you can keep, sustaining and, growing and all that.
Right. And that's what we're really looking for. I'm looking to put on a salesman probably at the first of the year to kind of help go out there and
spread the good word about Southern Weld Co.
Yeah. Go out there and harass clients and people like that because I've harassed a lot. So give them somebody else to go bug them because it's. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So don't be afraid to go out there and ask somebody because the worst they can tell you is no. Yeah. Because I haven't been eaten one time. I haven't been beaten up one time. I haven't been cussed out yet. But
you've been told no a couple
I've been
times,
told no several times. But sort of like dating, she'll eventually come around.
Yeah, she'll come around.
Yeah. Let's wear it
Or
down.
the next one will.
Yeah, the next one will. The better one. Mm-hmm. It might be better than what you thought.
So what do you think about the Fab Tech show?
This is actually my first Fab Tech.
Yeah, we were talking before you come out. I was like, dude, you got to go. You got to, as a business owner.
Yes.
You got to come out here and see this. What's been like the most valuable thing that you've collected over the past couple of days?
Exercise before you come.
Oh yeah, there's that.
there is.
You got to train for this event.
Yeah. This is something that you need to work up toward, because I was looking around. I was like, I could definitely use a scooter or a small golf cart. I mean, there's stuff everywhere, and I mean from running from here in Hall C all the way up to Hall A. It's here. If you can't find it, it don't exist.
It's like a 3-day marathon.
Yes, and I cannot wait. I mean, I was so excited about getting here, but I'm spent. I really am. I mean, I've met a lot of people, a lot of people that I see online. We're getting to see these people for the first time, and old people that I've met before, that I haven't seen in a while that are here, and it's a great. This is probably the best way to market, and to network. As far as me getting a client out of this, probably not, but it's great as far as seeing what's out there, equipment-wise, tool-wise, stuff that I didn't even know existed. But I was like, hey, that's cool. But I would say if you're coming, have a plan, because as soon as you walk in the door, you're going to be overwhelmed. I was. There's so much here to take in. So, I knew some things that I wanted to look at, some things I wanted to check out. So that's who I kind of concentrated my efforts on, and then all the other eye candy and the robots and stuff like that, I'd go check that out, But no, this is, I was surprised that all this stuff is running, especially back over in like Hall B, while the bigger equipment, all that stuff's running. Which I wouldn't expect.
The amount of power coming to this building. I mean,
I would hate to see
I
would hate to see the power bill for this. But yeah, it's phenomenal. Everybody is super nice, super helpful, but yeah, it's been a great time. I'm looking forward to going to Chicago. I'm going to bulk up over the summer, so I'm in shape. I might start running a little bit.
Get back down to fighting weight.
Yeah. So I could train for Chicago, so I could be better. Because I know Chicago's a little bit bigger than.
Chicago's a bigger show. It's just in I don't know how to explain it. It's only in 2 halls,
right.
And they're right across the the pathway from each other. Whereas the World Congress Center, it's kind of spread out, over several city blocks.
Yes, just like from here, like yesterday when we were on the panel, to walk from here to A. I mean, if you just
15 minutes.
Yeah, if you're walking briskly, and you're not stopping to look at anything, and it's just a straight haul from here to there.
Moving with a purpose.
Oh yeah, and it's a walk, and I mean I've worn my feet out. Bring good shoes.
Yeah, bring comfy shoes.
Yes.
But I mean, that's like, I love coming out here because you get to see all the cool new technology that's coming out. Everything that all these different companies are releasing. There's something out here for everybody. Whether you're a student in a welding program, you're a business owner, whether regardless of the size of your business, there's something out here for you that's going to make your life as a welder, as a business owner, as a fabricator that much better.
Absolutely.
But the cool thing is, like, it's awesome to come out here and see all this stuff. But the networking events, the people that you meet, the connections that you build.
Yes.
I mean, like, we were sitting on the stage yesterday with some heavy hitters in the industry.
Yes.
For the CWI panel. So, I mean, those are, like, great people to have.
Absolutely.
In your contacts on your phone.
Yeah.
You run into an issue, now you've got somebody to call. That's my biggest takeaway from FabTech.
Having, being able to get a hold of Walter or Tim would be,
invaluable.
Yeah, absolutely, because
they've been doing this stuff 30, 40 years.
Yeah, and that's all that, and that's, I can't wait to get to that point to where I'm that experienced, and it's going to take a journey to get there, but that's on the list too.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely doing it. But yeah, I've had
gear slipping. It's the last day of the show.
Yeah, it is.
It'll definitely wear you out, though.
Yes. Yeah, just like, going out last night to Arcs and L's, that was great. A lot of networking the night before at the Hard Rock. Great time hanging out with people, just talking with like-minded people, people that understand what you're talking about.
You get surrounded by a bunch of weld nerds.
Yeah,
I mean, this is our arena. This is our, kind of our event of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, just to be able to come out here and talk, because I can't talk like this when I'm at home, because Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're talking to the wall, talking to the dog.
Yeah.
He don't get it.
No, he don't get it.
He loves you anyway.
Yeah, he just wants a treat. And I can't wait to get home. I haven't seen him in 4 days. So I can't wait to get home to see him.
Yeah. Now, this place, so what do you think you're going to, everything that you've done here, like what's some of the takeaways that you're going to bring back to the business? Because I know you do a lot of planning. Because we talked when you were on the show last time, you did a lot of planning while you were working for somebody else and accumulating equipment so that when you did pull the pin and you went out on your own, you were set up and ready to go, head first.
Yes. I had everything kind of sitting in place. The main thing out here is the networking. I've met with a lot of people that have what I need or have what I would eventually need. And so having that contact and that face-to-face, exchanging cards and business numbers and things like that has been tremendous. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here I don't need right now. I want, but I don't need it right now. But I know who to call to get it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a couple other ventures within the welding industry. I met with a guy yesterday who's a salesman up in my area. He's actually down here, so we met and we talking with him after Thanksgiving. So we got together, we talked. We know each other face to face now. So, and just being able to have that personal connection with somebody, like I say, I might not need that machine this year. I want that machine right now.
Yeah.
But, now I know when I call somebody, yes, I remember you, hey, we talked,
I can get you a great deal on it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's actually on sale. How convenient.
Yeah.
You know how sales guys operate. Yeah.
Yeah. You just called at the right time.
Yeah. I just happen to have one laying around. I need to offload.
Yeah. It's got 2 inches of dust on it.
Yeah.
Brand new. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that. All this stuff, but stuff in here is just, there's stuff in here that is just way beyond my league. But there's cool stuff, cool people. But yeah, I would say the networking, to be able to even come out here and like speak with you guys and to talk with Nicole and everybody from AWS has been a big help for me in meeting those type of people.
Yeah, because you're an AWS member too.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, because you're CWI. And are you involved with your local section back home?
Our local section back home was dormant for a while. It's going now. It's starting to go. I've been to one event. They've had a couple events where I couldn't make it, but there's starting to be more growth and more, more action within our
Your section.
Our section. So so when I can get there, I do, I am involved as best I can. Like I said, it's still in the early goings. It's just now starting to get a good run. And so, but yeah, I try to be involved with it as much as I can.
Yeah. I've noticed that that's helped out a lot, and that was my main focus of setting a section up there in Central Florida. It was harder for me to make the meetings, and it was harder for my students to make the meetings, so they were kind of missing out. So I was like, well, let's open one here in Central Florida. And since then, I mean, it's exposing them to networking in their area. So I actually have a couple of buddies down there in Central Florida. There's 3 or 4 of them together. They all own their own welding companies, and very similar to you, they can't find help. However, when it comes down, they're like, hey, I got this job. It's going to take all 4 of us to do it. Can I go ahead and bid on this job and rely on you guys to come out here and help me do the work? And then we'll just split the cost, or we'll split the profit. And they're like, yeah. So I mean, every once in a while they'll team up. 2 of them hit a job, or 3 of them, or all 4 of them will go in there and attack a job. They just did a huge rebuild on the inside of a church, putting up mezzanines and reinforcing all kinds of stuff. One person couldn't have done that, but collectively those 4 independent businesses became one for a specific contract. And then they collect the profits, and then they separate. And then, one of the other ones will get a big job, and then they'll collectively get together again and then knock that one out. Yeah,
there's a few of us back home that we talk. We haven't worked together yet, but we have, hey, this is what I got. I see what you got. If it come down to it, if we needed to combine our efforts for a job, we have that. So I've tried not to make enemies with the people around me, because I might need that shop because they might have a piece of equipment I need to borrow. I've had a couple jobs where I didn't have the equipment, but I knew who did. And they were nice enough to, hey, I'll charge you X dollar to come in here and do whatever you need to do on my machine. Mm-hmm. They get a little bit of cut on it. I didn't have to turn the job down because I couldn't do it with what I had, but I had the resources.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I do, because like I literally operate out of, I got a 1.5 car garage. I operate my entire business out of that. Most of the stuff that I do is mobile, but some of the stuff, I do right there in the garage. The thing is, I don't have a huge horizontal bandsaw. I don't have an iron worker. I don't have a water jet. But you know what? I know people that do.
Yes.
So I can jump in the car, or I can get the material. I can call them up. Hey, Rob, Bill. Hey, I need to cut this out, or I need to punch these holes, or I need to stamp these, or I need to get these parts water jetted. Can I stop by tomorrow and use your machine? Yeah, no problem. Stop on by. Shop's open. Here's the code. And you just go in there and use their equipment. So having that network, these people that I've met at section meetings or different welding events and things of that nature, now I have access to other people's equipment, which has been great.
Yeah.
And and I know if they needed something, they can call me up, and I can help them out with codes and standards. Yeah. I can help them with developing procedures and processes for their shop, get their guys certified. So we barter labor because we're all small businesses.
Right, and that's one of the things that I try to do is have a good relationship, because you don't want to walk into the place where you get your filler material and talk crap about another company, or where you go get your metal and stuff like that, and you say, oh, I wouldn't hire that guy, or you need to stay away from this company. No, we're all got to work together, because we're all trying to get to an end goal, and you got to work together, because I might need you one day. And
especially in this industry. I think I've said it before, there's enough room at the table for everybody to eat and be happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's enough work out there.
Yeah, I've had another small company like me that says, hey, I need to be, can you do a certification test for me? Okay, that's something that I offer that he doesn't have. So, yeah, I can come by the shop, and we'll weld some coupons up, and we'll do some paperwork and get you done, and do whatever we need to do. So, you, I guess, treat people the way you'd want to be treated, because I wouldn't want somebody out there bad-mouthing me.
Yeah, and the cool thing about having that network is you can talk to these guys, and, let's say they come across some work that they can't handle. Oh, man, this is right up Jeremy's alley. I can't do this. But my buddy Jeremy with Southern Weld Co., he can come out here and take care of this, and he can pass clients off. So now, when you put together a network, because you were talking about hiring a sales guy, it's not as quick and effective as a sales guy. But, you create a bunch of sales guys within your network because they start referring you, and then you refer them to different clients. Yeah, say, hey, this is out of my scope of work, but my buddy over here, that's what he specializes in. Let me give you his card. Yeah,
there's one guy back home, if he can't do it, he's like, well, this is the guy you need to call. You need to call Jeremy. So, and then they'll call me. I'm like, well, I can't get there. You need to call so-and-so. And it's like, well, that's who told me to call you.
It happens like that sometimes.
Yeah. But no, it's that is very important into the survival of a small business, is to being able to have a good relationship with other small businesses, and not burning bridges. You don't want to burn a bridge in anything in this industry.
Oh, exactly. Well, that's what we were talking about last night, Lee. It's a very big industry, but it's a very small niche of people.
Yes.
And word travels fast, and your reputation will precede you, regardless of where you go, if you specialize in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want to be that guy walking into a trade show and go, that guy can't weld.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
No, you don't want to be that guy.
Now, so you opened your business, you said April 2020, April time 2020. And I've said it a bunch of times to other small business owners, you got to take that leap of faith. Now, here we are almost 2 years later.
Almost three,
and you've been working at your company all by yourself, putting this stuff together. You're struggling. You need more people. You need more equipment. You got some work. Do you regret any of it?
Depends on what time of day you ask me that question. Some days I absolutely hate it. Some days I'm just like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. And then some days it's like, I'm glad I've done this, because it's 8:30. And I'm still in the bed.
Yeah.
If I needed, if I was out working late and not having to punch somebody else's time clock, because I do like having that mobility, that freedom to kind of go and do as I want.
Work on your own schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. But then some days I'm like, I can't handle this.
What the hell did I get myself into?
Yeah, who come up with it? Who possessed me to do this? Oh yeah, that was me. So overall, I'm still happy and satisfied that I've done it. Just, it's not been easy, and it's not been as glamorous as some people think. You know, like when people see my posts and stuff like that, they didn't see what was around it or what it took to even get there. They didn't see that I didn't work last week. My phone didn't ring, and I done sales calls and marketing, or I done a job and I'm still yet to get paid.
Yeah, still waiting on that check to come in.
Yeah, and you call and be like, oh, we sent it over to the AP department.
We make a call.
Yeah,
checks in the mail. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had $1 for every time I heard that one.
Yeah, so I mean, and that hurts because
you're relying on that.
Yeah,
You've got a business to run.
You know, I know that I've sent you an invoice, and now here it is 31, 32, 35, 45 days, and I still haven't been paid. And I call, and some people answer the phone, some don't. You send them an email, they might respond back. So I mean, it is tough. You know, that's probably the worst thing about it is playing collection agents.
Yeah, you need to hire a guy. You need to get Vinny over there with a baseball bat.
Nicky, Vinny, and Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I couldn't afford them right now. So.
Well, they go out there and collect your money. You give a percentage of what they can bring in.
Give Vinny his cut, and so he can buy a new tracksuit.
But so with this whole thing, do you find it? I don't know but I mean, do you regret like starting the business, or do you think you're better off now doing this, working for yourself, than you were with the stability of I got a check, I got insurance, I got benefits?
I am happier.
There you go.
Overall, I'm happier because I'm like most guys that do this and we travel. We have families. We have kids. I have a 17-year-old daughter. I've missed a lot, and I'm not going to get any of that back. So now when she says, I have this going on, I can be there.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what I'm doing, if she calls, she's first. I've actually put clients on hold. Can you hang on? I'll call you right back. She's on the phone. You know, so that, you know, just being there, being able to be with my dog, because I can't take my dog on the road. I can't have a blue heeler hemmed up in a. They
don't hem up well.
No, they don't. They
do the hemming.
Yeah, they do the hemming. He doesn't like being confined too well. So, I mean, just being able to be home, you know, to have a normal life to where you can be there for your family. And that's the most important. That's why I went out and done what I did out on the road, just so she could have what she has. And so, you know, and I know a lot of guys are out there that's like, you know, would rather be at home, would rather be there with their wife and their kids and being able to go to a school function. And to be able to do that has probably been the best decision for me to be able to do that. You know, to be able to be there for her and my family.
Yeah.
You know, because, like I say, I've missed out a lot. You know, an employer doesn't care that your daughter has a chorus concert. They don't care. They bid a job, they need to have it done. They got a deadline, because if they don't meet it, they got to start paying money.
I think that's one of the benefits I've had too, because like you, I've worked a lot. You know, I did a lot of working and schooling and child raising. So, you know, I'd work during the day, I was going to school at night, or work during the day, work, you know, on my business at night and on the weekends and stuff like that. Like you, I've missed out a lot of time. My daughter's 10, my son's 13. You know, I've tried to make every event that I can. And they know. I mean, they know damn well, like, that daddy's working or daddy's here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm out screwing off. But, like, now that I've left and kind of went out on my own, I'm able to do that. You know, I can drop the kids off at the school, you know, in the morning for the most part. You know, so I get a little bit of time with them then. I can be home, you know, when they get home from school. You know, I can help them with their homework now. You know, I'm not trying to do that via Zoom, you know, somewhere else, you know, because I'm running multiple businesses, you know, like working a full-time job and then working my business.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of a breath of fresh air. Like, I can kind of sit back and relax. But, you know, sometimes it's like, did I do the right thing? Am I screwing up? You know, I mean, like, I had a guaranteed check every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was getting...
Now I'm waiting for, you know, invoices to come in.
Yeah, I mean, the money, if you're in it for the money, you know, then go get it. I went and got it, but it cost me. You know, it cost me... You pay for it somehow. Whether, you know, like I say, a family function or being there for your kids or just... being able to just not be inside of a plant on 712s.
Yeah.
So
that's good money. And then, but Uncle Sam, he wants his cut too. He sends over, Tony and Vinny and all that.
Yeah,
That's his cut.
Yeah. But overall, I don't regret it. And it was a good decision on my part. And looking back on it, I wouldn't have changed it. I would have done it exactly the way I have been doing it. But yeah, just to be able to be there for her has been the biggest thing.
Yeah.
She was now if I didn't have a daughter, probably would have gambled a lot more on other adventures and stuff like that. But having to be a responsible adult,
you kind of want that security.
Yeah. And when you're out there on the road, you're getting that money. It's going to hit your account Thursday night, Friday morning. It's going in there, and bills are going to get paid. Things are going to get taken care of at home. Not necessarily when you're on your own business.
Yeah. You don't have that. You don't have that security.
No, absolutely not. That security net is gone. And when they say it's a leap of faith, it is really a leap of faith. Either you're going to land on your feet, or you're going. And I mean, I've took on water. But I'm still here.
But you're able to bail it out.
Yeah, I'm able to get myself out. But it's been up and down. But no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Get that tattooed on your chest.
I wanted to, and my tattoo.
Not one?
I actually wanted to get that no regrets tattoo, and my guy would not do it. He said, "I'm not doing that." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Because even though it's funny, he said it's a mistake, and it would have been something that I did that I would regret."
Right.
Tattooing that on you, so he refuses to do it. So I don't guess I'll get it.
Find another tattoo artist.
I don't
Find
know.
one with a sense of humor.
No. When it comes to tattoo artists, I'm kind of
picky.
Very.
Yeah.
I got a couple bad tattoos that I just went down to the local tattoo guy because he had a sign in his window. He does tattoos.
You get a C-17, sir.
Yeah, and you go get a C-17 and you come out with a paper airplane. Yeah. So I mean, and it's just like with any business. How good is that guy? So even my tattoo artist, I researched him out, and I'd done everybody in my area that I was willing to drive to, and I picked him. And
it's a major investment. I mean,
yeah.
I did the same thing with mine. That's why it's taken me so long to get the tattoos that I want, because I know what I want, and I know the style that I'm looking for. Now I got to find the artist. Now I got to I want to look through their portfolio.
Yeah, and that's the same way with my business. I want you to look through my portfolio. I want you to research out the best guy, and I want to be that best guy.
Yeah.
I want Southern Weld Company to be that top welding company that people are looking for. Because they've had bad welders or a bad company or somebody come in there and they just done a half job and they're not satisfied. And so they said, okay, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to find the best company. And when you go to start Googling around, I'm wanting Southern Weld Company to be there.
Yeah, you want to be the top one on that list when they hit enter on Google.
Yes, absolutely. So it's like anything else. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If you just go get it to be getting it, you're going to get whatever. If you invest in it and you research it out and you put the time in it and you plan and you get exactly what you want, you'll get more than what you've asked for.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe in treating my clients. My job is to give them exactly more than what they wanted.
Under promise, over deliver.
Absolutely. I mean, I want them to be, oh, well, man, this is so great. You went above and beyond for what to me would be a little problem, but to them was a mountain that they needed to overcome. And I was able to do it, no problem, and they just think it was the greatest thing.
Well, it seems like everything you're doing is paying off, man. Every time I call you, you're busy.
Yeah.
So that's always a plus.
Yeah, it is. I was hoping to get down there and hang out with you before you left the school, but I was busy. But yeah, and being busy is a good thing, and sometimes a bad thing. But yeah, it's definitely getting better. It's definitely going forward. It's definitely growing. Like I say, obviously I'm looking at put on a salesman and things like that. I've looked at a couple machines in here that would look real nice in my shop. But yeah, it's coming.
It'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, especially the way you're pushing. I mean, you've upgraded since we talked last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I talked to Dusty James. It's a constant state of progression with all this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't have everything overnight. You got to kind of set your sights on something and work towards it, get that, and then then you set the next point. You set the next bar.
Yeah. There's always something that's like, it's funny. I'll be somewhere and my mom will call. She's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I just left welding supply place." And she's like, "What did you buy now?" "Well, I bought another piece of equipment." "Well, I thought you have equipment." I was like, "Look, I don't have this.
I don't have this one.
I don't have this one." And I needed it. She's like, "Are you ever going to be able to save money and not buy equipment?" I said,
Probably not. 5 years.
Probably not, because I love toys. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in here that I would love to take home. But yeah, there's always going to be something to buy.
Yeah.
There's always going to be some cool new product.
But then that stuff turns around and it makes you money and
Yes.
allows you. It takes you to that next level.
Yeah, it does.
So you can hit that next goal.
It is an investment, So I'd get that cool toy, and plus I bid at a job to where I can buy the cool toy. It pays for the cool toy, and now I have the cool toy that the next shop doesn't have.
Yeah,
that
a lot of times you can bid that cool toy right into the estimate.
I have. If I see a need for something, I'm like, well, I don't have that tool just yet, like a plasma cutter.
Mm-hmm.
I had a job, the cremation oven that I did on. It was a 16-inch pipe. I wasn't going to cut that thing out with a grinder, which I ended up having to because it was pouring down raining. But long story. But I was like, I can get a plasma cutter and still make money on this job and it pay for the plasma cutter. So what I do, I get a plasma cutter.
You get that plasma cutter.
I get a brand new
plasma for the next job.
Yeah, I got it.
It's already paid for itself.
Yeah, it paid for itself, and I still got money. And now I got a piece of equipment that I know is there in the shop that I don't have to go looking for shop ABC down the road and say, "Hey man, I got some stuff I need to cut out. Can I come borrow your plasma cutter?" I don't have to do that. Now they have to come borrow my plasma cutter if they don't have one.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, out of the show to come and hang out and chat with us.
Yeah, I'm glad you had me. I'm glad I was able to get down here, and glad the panel yesterday was absolutely great. I think it went very well, and the podcast today, and just I'm excited to meet some more people when I get done here and go to the house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exhausting.
It's a lot.
It is a whole lot.
Then you got a 4-hour ride once you pull the pin here.
If I can get out of Atlanta, I'm going 85 northbound, so if I can clear past Gwinnett County, I think I should be in the clear.
Yeah, I think I'm eastbound and down right after this, depending on what that hurricane's doing.
Yeah, well, hopefully the house is still sitting on its foundation when you get down there.
It's still there.
It's still there? Okay,
yeah, it's
good.
still there. It's already went through that area. It's moving up north.
Okay, no damage?
Headed my way. No, not this round.
Studio's good? Everything?
Studio's good.
Perfect.
As far as I know.
Okay.
Might have some water in there. I got to check that when I get home.
Okay. But yeah, hopefully everybody will get out of here safely, get back to where you go. I know a lot of people's flying back out, yesterday and today and tomorrow. So everybody going out of here, just be careful. Atlanta Hartsville is a very painful airport. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, so I'm lucky I don't have to get on a plane this trip. So, but yeah, thanks to everybody here at AWS. Thanks for you for bringing me out. And yeah, I've had a great time.
Thanks, man.
It's been great.
Safe travels.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, brother.
All right.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. Be sure to check out new episodes of Weld Wednesdays with AWS the first Wednesday of every month. For more information on how you can get involved with AWS, check out aws.org. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe out there, and until next time, make every weld better than your last.